Right then folks, Greeno out and about again, and where am I today? Well, I'm just outside of Leeds. I'm in a place called Yeadon, or at least I think that's how it's pronounced. Could be Yeadon, I think it's Yeadon. Why am I here? Well, just above my shoulder here you can see a sign that says Murgatroyds. Now this is a very, very famous fish and chip place. Probably the most famous one in Yorkshire, arguably. They do massive fish and chips. Blimey, there was a fighter jet just flying over there. Hopefully we haven't got a war without anyone telling me. Otherwise this video is a bit pointless, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to go in here and we're going to get some fish and chips. Now these are proper fish and chips, Yorkshire fish and chips. I've had a lot of fish and chips down south, and I keep getting told by you Yorkshire folk that it's not proper fish and chips, it's not cooked in beef dripping. You know the drill, don't you? I'm not having gravy on it. So here I am, up in Yorkshire, going to give what's supposed to be one of your best places a try. So, let's get inside and find out what it's all about, shall we? So, gotta say, I'm really, really surprised. I've turned up here at, what, 3:10? Assuming that, you know, in between lunchtime and dinner time wouldn't be quite so busy. The car park is absolutely rammed and there's a queue to get into the restaurant too. Plus there's a takeaway part that's open and I've seen a steady stream of customers going in and out of there as well. So for them to be that busy at this time of day, they've got to be doing something right, haven't they? Anyway, let's get inside and find out. Right, change of plan folks. The restaurant is just too busy in there. Like I say, there's a big queue, and while so many people are turning up and queuing and whatever, it doesn't seem fair for me to take up a whole table just for myself. So we're going to let them get on with it in there, and I'm going to head into the takeaway. They do have some little tables, like picnic tables outside. It's not the warmest day, but it's not raining, so we'll be all right. Right then guys, I have my order in this bag, so let me run you through what I actually did order. So we have one fish and chips, so that's a haddock and chips. Just £10 for haddock and chips, I don't think that's too bad. I've got small mushy peas at £1.45, a small gravy at £1.45. Yes, we are going to be trying gravy on our fish and chips today. And you know me, a pickled egg. So let me get it all out of this bag and we'll take a closer look at it. Right, so first things first, I've got to say, for £10, this is an exceptional sized piece of fish. Now I know in this restaurant, this is just a regular haddock. They also have a large haddock, an extra large haddock, and something they call the big un. So this is the smaller of 4 sizes of haddock. And if that's the smaller one, goodness knows how large the big one is. Nicely cooked, nice batter on there. And it looks like quite a nice piece of fish. I'm going to break a bit off and we'll take a closer look, see how it is inside. Oh yeah, look at this. That lovely white flaky fish in there. In fact, we're just going to go at it with our hands. Give it a quick try. Oh yeah. That is lovely and meaty, very, very fresh. The batter has a really, really nice flavour into it. Like I say, really nice and crispy. The batter I find a bit greasy sometimes, but this seems to be okay. But the fish and the batter are equally as good as each other. I mean, look at it. It's so thick. That is an exceptional piece of fish, that really is. It's been cooked without the skin on. And quite often, particularly down south anyway, the haddock is cooked with skin on, but here they've taken it off. Haddock, of course, is generally the fish of choice up here in the north when you're having fish and chips. Down south, we're probably more cod, aren't we? But that is cracking. I'd go as far as to say that is the best piece of fish from any fish and chip shops I've had on this channel, or at least it's level with the hake I had at Callaway's in Dorchester. Goodness me, I'm kind of struggling to find words to describe how delicious that is. So I believe everything here is cooked in beef dripping, so that's going to help with the flavour. Oh man, let's move on to these chips now. Really nice colour to them, nice thick chunky chips. And again, the flavour on them is just next level. There are so many of them in this box. And like I say, the cook on them is great. Nice and soft and fluffy on the inside. Just a little bit of crisp to the edges and the ends. I mean, look at that chip. Look at that chip, will you? Ah, it's proper, isn't it? Wow. Now, chip shop owners of Dorset, you need to pay attention to this. This is how you cook fish and chips. Wow. Right, let's combine some of the sides into here. So, we got gravy, mushy peas, and a pickled egg. Now, we all know what a pickled egg is all about, don't we? Let's see how it is, though. It's nice. It's reasonably lightly pickled, which is good. See a nice yolk in there. It is a tasty pickled egg. Nicky. You compare this to what I had when I went to the Rock and Soul place in London in the summer. It tasted kind of sour. Not a bit of it with that one. Right, I'm just getting some chips that are ready for when we dive into these. We've got the mushy peas here. Now, these have got perfect colour. They're not bright green, but they're not too dull. And look at the consistency of them. Proper mushy peas then. Let's give them a try. Yeah. They are good. These are obviously homemade ones. These are not out of a tin. They're earthier than any tinned ones you'd get when they're made on site. They remind me a little bit of the ones I got in Tower Chipperies in Blackpool. Remember I went into that really budget chippy in Blackpool. When was that? April time, I think? They remind me a bit of that. Deep, earthy, rich flavour to them. Yes, please. Yes, please. Right, you've got gravy here. Now, I would tip this up to show you, but it's a little bit more liquid than I expected it to be. So it's an onion gravy, because I can see there are bits of onion in it. Now, normally with an onion gravy, I'd be having that with sausages, with pies. I don't mind it with chips. So we're going to find a couple of nice chips here underneath. a little bit chunkier to dip into that gravy. Now, because it's quite a thin gravy, it's not clinging to it, but it is coating it. Oh, wow. It does have a really good intensity of flavour though. Nice and beefy. You can pick up the little sweetness of onion in there. I just wish it was a touch thicker so that it would cling to the chips a little better. You get more of a coating on the chips, then you'd get even more of that rich beef intensity in there, wouldn't you? But what I will say is the flavour of it is really, really good. And the beefy gravy here and the chips cooked in the beef dripping, I mean, that is quite a heady combination. It really is. Now, this is going to be the controversial bit, or at least as far as I'm concerned. There is a certain other food reviewer who reviews quite a lot of takeaways who swears by having gravy on your fish. Now, that is something that's very alien to me as a concept. You think of fish as going with kind of lighter sauces, creamy sauces, or like citrusy, buttery kind of things. Not with a rich, deep beef gravy, but we got some of the fish here. I'm going to dip it into the gravy. There we go. Danny, let's see if you're right. Do you know what? It's unusual, but I don't hate it. The only thing I would say is it kind of masks the delicate flavour of the fish a little bit. But in terms of, you know, being a nice meaty kind of fish, the mouthfeel of it, having that gravy on there, doesn't feel that wrong. Now, I'm not saying I'm coming round to the idea. It's not something I would probably do generally. But if it's something you've grown up with, I can kind of see where it's coming from. I understand why it makes sense. Let's go again. They reckon, like when you're a kid and whatever, you've got to try things a few times, haven't you? Before you know whether you really like something or not. And just because something's strange to you doesn't mean it's bad. It just kind of means you need to get accustomed to it. And I can, like I say, I can kind of see why people go for that. I mean, for me, having it with the mushy peas makes more sense. But that's just because that's something I'm used to. And then having the chips with the gravy. Like I say, that's something I do quite a lot anyway. You know what, I do kind of see why that works. Anyway, I'm going to finish some more of this up. And I'll talk about it a bit more at the end, but in terms of the quality, I am really, really happy with this. Right then, folks, so what can I say about that? The fish and chips here at Murgatroyds in Yeadon near Leeds. Wow, just wow. I mean, that haddock and chips, both of which were absolutely exceptional and really decent portions. That haddock was much bigger than a piece of fish you'd get back down south. For £10, and with that quality and with that cookery and the flavour, my goodness me, that is just next level stuff. The mushy peas, beautiful as well, obviously made here on site, nice and rich and earthy. The fish and chips cooked in the beef dripping, just adds so much flavour. The gravy, a really nice flavour to the gravy. Yeah, I'd have liked it a bit thicker, But I mean, we're splitting hairs really, aren't we? And the pickled egg, well, that's just a pickled egg. You know, you can't really score based on that because it just comes out of a jar. So, talking of a score, I have got to give it a score. I can't give it anything other than a 5 out of 5. I really can't. I mean, I'm quibbling over the thickness of the gravy. That's the only possible criticism that I have of it. And that's not really a criticism, is it? So, yeah, 5 out of 5 for Murgatroyds. Now, is this the best fish and chip shop in Yorkshire? It's the best fish and chip shop I've used in Yorkshire, because I don't recall. Well, maybe I have. Maybe I've had fish and chips in Yorkshire before, but only sort of in the city centre of Leeds on a night out or something like that. 20 years ago or more, probably. But if there are other good chippies up here that you think I should be looking to go to, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to be planning another trip up to Yorkshire before too long, hopefully before the end of the year. It might go past Christmas, who knows, depends what's going on. But I really want to know, where is good? Where is better than Murgatroyds here for fish and chips? Is there anywhere better? Let me know. Question is, does it get Greeno's green light? Well, can you see the colour of the building? Can you see the colour of the lettering? That's all green, isn't it? Add another green light up there. Because this place definitely gets more than one green light, probably. A whole row of green lights. It is absolutely stunning and great value. I paid £13.85 for that. Back down where I live, you might get the fish and chips for that. At the moment, not much more. And it won't be as good as this. It just won't. Wow, yeah. Definite green light. 5 out of 5. Greeno's a happy boy. Well then folks, if you've enjoyed this video looking at Murgatroyds here in Yeadon near Leeds, don't forget to click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help with the channel. And if you'd like to see more content on this channel, then why not consider clicking the subscribe button. There's almost 17,000 of you now subscribed to the channel, which is brilliant. Let's see if we can push it up towards 20, shall we? Anyway, where am I off to next? That's a good question. You're going to have to wait to the next video to find out. I will see you then.